Welcome to Kidmissing TV. I am your host, Angelina Wilson. There was not a video yesterday because my battery died and erased it. Now, I can't find the case. So, I can't do the case because I can't find it. Any chance. Dang it. Anyway. So, I will get back to our regular schedule on Monday with the story of Catherine Hull. I believe I mentioned her when talking about Clueless in New England and, lumped in with a bunch of cases. I've never done her on her own. The case that I was doing was a young man who was found in 1998, but had actually been dead since between 1918 and 1925. He was wearing boots I can't remember the store. Again, I'm not looking at the paperwork. I'm just trying to give you an idea. The company actually wrote back and told them that those boots were made in 1918, which means he couldn't have died any earlier than that. And the anthropologist said he's between 16.1 and 16.9 years, which means 16 years 1 month to 16 years 9 months. So he'd been laying there for almost 100 years when he was found in 1998. They are currently doing genetic genealogy, although it is a small company out of Utah that only has some Utah families. There's only been one rule out. I do have a poster of the case that I made. I'm doing the best I can here from memory. They could tell from marks on his ribs that he died of a... Hold on. I'm back. My battery was going to die on me again. Okay, this boy also has dentals, and his teeth showed tobacco staining, which would not have been uncommon in that time period. Back then, they didn't see anything wrong with it, and kids started smoking at 9 years old. So, because they didn't know it was bad for them. And of course, it's been speculated that the reason he may not have been reported as missing at the time was because basically he would have been treated as an adult, gone off to work, try to earn money while the guys were off at war during the Great War, or World War I, as we now call it. And so he would have found work. And as I was saying before, our battery almost died on us again. They know from marks on his ribs that he had a lung infection when he died. They think because of the time period that he had the flu. He could have had tuberculosis, but it's less likely to have caused death that quickly. He was all bundled up in every manner of clothes he had, laying there sick, and died. And that flu was taking healthy young people. It was actually a gift of World War I. um, so, I can almost promise you, almost guarantee you, if you go through your genealogy, you will find someone that died between 1917 and 1920 of the, 1917 and 1921 of the flu. Because that's when that pandemic was hitting hardest. I've got them in my family. And I got a ton of tuberculosis, and that's something else I can also promise and guarantee you'll find. Whether it's listed as consumption, TB, tuberculosis, however it's listed, yeah, you'll find it. So anyway, and they would have known if the lesions on his ribs were tuberculosis lesions anyway, so they feel that it was likely the flu. He could have had pleurisy too, which is an infection of the sac that the lungs live inside of. The lungs live inside of a sac called the pleura, and the pleura sticks to the body wall, to the chest wall, and the lungs stick to that, and that keeps the lungs from just going and deflating like a balloon. It holds them inflated. Sometimes too inflated, like in my mother's case. But like if you have a pleural effusion, it means there's liquid or blood in the pleura between the pleura and the lung, which can collapse the lung. So this boy was only 5'4". He was someone's child. And they want people to come forward who have long lost missing relatives in their genealogies to take the DNA tests. I think they're going to be sending DNA samples from his tooth and rib to other labs as well. And his skeleton is in the care of the anthropologist, a forensic anthropologist. She looks forward to the time that she can give him to his family. So hopefully he'll end up in a family plot somewhere. It's going to be, a great or great niece or nephew, because he didn't have children or grandchildren. He was a kid himself. Maybe a sibling? No, because his siblings wouldn't be alive. His siblings' grandchildren, like I said, his siblings' children, grandchildren. So. And the boots were combat boots. Probably used them as work boots. His right arm was overdeveloped versus his left, and that told him obviously he was right-handed and he did heavy work. Now, people were questioning that, so I want to explain it, how they knew that. When you develop more muscle in an area of the body, the bones are heavier and denser to hold on to that muscle. Because you're building muscle and bone strength. So that's how they can tell that. And that's how they know if you're right or left-handed by which hand has been used more. Yeah, this kid, I can't say he had a rough life. I can say that he had the life of a kid during that time period. What's that? Again, I'm doing this all from memory, so I apologize. A reconstruction was made, and it is in the poster. Right over here. Right over here. So I did the best I could under the circumstances, guys. Excuse me. He was someone's child, someone's brother, someone's uncle, someone's friend, you know? Wish I could remember the brand of the boots, but anyway. But at least the guy got back to the police and said, look, and he sent them pictures of boots. He said, these are approximately the boots. I can't get you the exact boots, but from what you're describing. And he was wearing jeans and tons of layers. I tend to think he died in the winter or had a very high fever, or both. They say he was trying to sweat it out, which they did back then. Actually, I did that in the 60s when my mother was a teenager. She was given a shot of ginger brandy, piled under blankets on the couch, and told to sleep it off. She said, I woke up feeling good as new. That's what they did. Now, we don't know if he drank anything because he was a skeleton when he was found. Oh, excuse me. He was most likely transient. Following jobs, railroads, farming, whatever he could find. So. And like I said, there's only been one rule out as far as we know, and I can't remember his name. Oh my gosh. This is the Webb Hill John Doe. He was found in Utah. On Webb Hill. You would think that given the genealogies that the Mormons are actually required, or Latter-day Saints are actually required to do, that if he were among them, it might be pretty easy to figure out, but we don't know if he came from Idaho, Oregon, Washington, part of California, states that abut it, Colorado even, and not necessarily from Utah itself. So. Because he was traveling around taking jobs. Was there a family he was sending money back to? Somewhere? There apparently weren't any pictures on him, or there wouldn't have been any ID. I think we need an identification system for children. Because there's no way to identify a child until they have a driver's license. I think a good idea, and let me know what you guys think, would be for a parent to take a picture of their child, print it out at Walmart, get a sheet of lamination paper, write all their information down on a piece of paper, put the picture on it, and then put that onto, like I said, a sheet of lamination paper, smooth it down, cut out around it, and you have a picture ID for your kid. Can they use it anywhere? No. But if your kid's in an accident or anything else, they can have that on them until they're old enough to drive. I would also add your name and phone number to it. Let me know what you think. I think it's definitely a program we need to start. So, I'd love to hear feedback. God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you Monday. Bye, guys.